Episode 82, man. T.E.P. We back here. You know, I'm here. Ed, are you here?
I am.
Ed is here. Here for another episode, man. Hope you guys having a good day. Thanks for joining us and everything like that. We're back here again, man. Ed, how you doing?
I'm good, man. You know how sometimes you are just like, I don't know if this happened to you, but sometimes I'll just look around and like just kind of take in everything that's my life. And I was like, man, life is good, man. Like, I had one of those moments. I think that was Friday. I had that moment. I was like, man, life is really, really, really good. And I don't know, man. I just feel like in my older age, I'm not that old, but as I've continued to progress in life, I really just appreciate that more and like kind of like thinking about my journey and where I came from and stuff. And, you know, sometimes you couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. So, I don't know. I had one of those moments Friday and I was like, life is really good. And I really like where I am in life. Kind of almost. Yeah, in every aspect. So it's like, you know, like, since we here, I would sometimes look at people. Of course, you don't know what people going through, and it can be a facade, but I'll just be like, man, like, they look happy. Like, I don't know what that feel to just like have like an overall like happiness going. But now I'm there, man. And like I said, it's really a great feeling, man. And that's when I just like feel grateful and stuff and like kind of just thank God because, man, it wasn't always like this. So I don't know, man. I just been in a really grateful state, you know. I do want to apologize for the listeners. I know episode 81 was kind of like
late,
kind of a mess. We had technical difficulties.
And there was a lot going on.
/technical difficulties.
I saw a tweet today say when a man say he got a lot going on, I mean he did it with another woman.
Yeah, or he got a baby on the way. I seen that tweet too. It was pretty funny. It low key kind of.
It's kind of true, but I ain't got no baby. We ain't got no baby on the way, y'all.
No, I was like, literally,
we just ran out of time.
And then, like I said, I was having technical difficulties, so I couldn't like just do what I have done 80 times.
80 times, 80 times, literally 81.
Yeah, so it just But no, it's been good, man. You know, I've been doing this boxing thing and like we've upped it excuse me to twice a week now. So I'm really in it, and then I'm trying to get my conditioning up so I can spar. So this is what my trainer told me I needed to do every day. Keep in mind, I'm not doing this every day, but I aspire to do this every day. 2 miles, 3-minute rounds of shadow boxing, and 3 rounds of 3-minute jump ropes. Now, some might say, oh, the hardest thing must be the 2 miles. Absolutely not. I don't know if y'all have ever jumped rope for 3 minutes, but
that's a long time.
Most people have a hard time jump roping for 1. If you in shape, you can probably get to 2.
Yeah.
3 is a different type of animal.
Yeah.
So to do that for 3 sets for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I told her straight up, she was like, well, what have you been doing? I said, I do 2 out of the 3. I can't do all 3.
3 rounds is 1 set?
No, it's 3 sets of 3-minute rounds. So like,
so 1 3
so
minutes.
You jump rope for 3 minutes. That's 1. 3 times, yeah.
Okay.
But I can't do all 3 of those in a day. I can do 2 of the 3. Like I can do a combination of any of the 3. I just can't run 2 miles, shadow box for 3 minutes, 3 sets of doing it, and then jump rope for 3 minutes and 3 sets of doing it.
I ain't gonna cap. I'd probably take the shadow boxing out.
It's not that. I mean,
which one did you X out? Which one?
I do a combination every time. So I'm doing them all, but not doing them every day. I do a combination.
So you do like shadow boxing, jump rope,
or do a mile and jump rope. but the jump rope is the hardest part.
Jump rope hard. When I was on my big regiment.
Yeah, jump rope is the hardest one because I was doing good on my 2 mile running. I was cutting my times pretty significantly every time. But
well, you are a runner. Pause.
He's a runner. He's a track star.
Yeah.
But nah, that I'm telling you, the jump rope is the hardest one out of those 3, which most people wouldn't think. But
are you able to jump up in one spot, or do you like move up and down?
I play with it because I would like jump rope to warm up anyway before this started. So like,
okay, that's a good.
I kind of play with it.
Jump rope is great cardio.
I can do 1 foot, 2. I kind of just play with it.
Maybe skipping.
Yeah, I just play with it. 3 minutes, and then too. What I come to realize, I was like, let me just throw a song on, because if I throw a song on,
that'll be the time.
But I learned most songs are like 2 minutes and 30 seconds these days, which makes it feel even longer to jump rope in the entire song and still have to jump rope into another song.
30.
But outside of that, man, it's been good, man. I just been, working my little 1-2. Work is calm again, off every other Friday. Can't really complain, man. We got through the busy season, so it's chill again. So I mean, you just continue to try to with work, just learn and elevate. I got a new role this year, so and it looks, it's one of them things where it's like it wasn't necessarily a raise, but it's a new role that looks really, really well on paper. To say that you got that experience under your belt. So I'm looking forward to that. And man, outside that, like I say, I'm just holding steady, man. Life good, so I ain't trying to rock the boat.
Yes, sir.
What's been going on with you, man?
Well, we all know last time we spoke, my aunt had just died. So we're coming off the reunion week. That's the reunion. It's kind of like a reunion. The funeral weekend. And bro, my last little week of life has just been so tumultuous. Which is a big word for saying dynamic and ever changing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ebbs and flows. Like I was hit with a rush of things. So for the listeners that know, listeners that don't know, so my aunt had passed and her funeral was last Saturday. But I was just trying to cram. So I take on burdens. That's kind of the person I am, right? And we've talked about this before on the podcast, but like, I just believe in my ability to get something done over just leaving it up to chance.
Okay.
I'm saying this because I had a funeral Saturday. Had a fundraiser Sunday. Fundraiser Friday. Didn't work out. And it was a guy kind of talking to me like, bro, you need to slow down. I take that back. Both the fundraiser and the funeral was on Saturday. I was using Friday to get stuff together for the funeral on Saturday. So I'm running around grabbing supplies, going here, going there, picking up stuff for the fundraiser, picking up stuff for the funeral, dropping this off. Uncle want to ride to the stove. Bring Uncle to the stove, get him a little beer or something like that. Bring him back. Do this, do that. And I was just ripping and running, and God kind of finally set me down Saturday, and because the fundraiser didn't pan out, so He gave me that time to myself and to my family, and I was grateful for that. But the funeral, the reason why I'm saying it is because, like how you were talking, like life is good for you. I've had a lot of experiences just over this last week that has allowed me to put stuff into perspective. And I was at my aunt's funeral, and like it really shouldn't be that bad, but it's a very visceral thing. A funeral, it's the closing of somebody's chapter. So while you're there and you're reading like the obituary and stuff like that, like you're literally looking at the snapshot of somebody's life. Like this is what they did, this is what they stood for.
Mm-hmm.
You look around and you see like me, her nephew, her sister, her mom, the person she worked with at this job, the person she worked with at that job. So it was just a concentration of her life's work. And it had me just thinking about the same thing you said, like what is that going to be for me? You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And for me to have that thought, I had to ask myself, like, well, what you doing now, brother?
Yeah.
Like, what you doing now, brother, to make that, come to fruition? Like, because life only life, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's here, then it's gone. Like, so you got to make it a good situation while you're here. And, I came to the same conclusion as you, like, but my life good, bro. We just talking off mic. Hey, I take care of myself. I'm a honest man. I make an honest dollar. I make an honest living.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I got the things I'm into.
Yeah.
I got things that I do, but they don't harm nobody else. They're just for me, and and I put those things into perspective, and I really appreciate that. And like my class reunion is another big thing that's been on my mind because we're trying to like tie up the loose ends for that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that happened 10 years ago. So like you're looking at your journey from then to now, like what is this even supposed to mean to me? What am I trying to make this mean for me and my classmates? Like, well, a lot of life has been lived since 2012, like a lot of life. So
yeah.
And actually I'm just thankful for the opportunity, man. And I had such heavy emotional things go on this week that I kind of detached from everything else. Like I worked out, okay, but like the workout was the escape. I really ain't been talking to nobody, bro. Outside of my close friends, like y'all, like this has been one of those kind of weeks or 2 weeks where like, excuse me, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not really down to talk to nobody new. I need to be talking to people that already know me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I could say something and I don't have to explain it to you. And you understand what I mean when I say this. So like, if I say, this such and such, you know who that is. I ain't got to, So like my communication has been very minimal. Like kind of just directly to my family, to my friends. But I'm looking towards that. I think that's the direction that I'm going into. And it's been kind of hard, like I've been having to tell people like, hey man, and it's kind of like one of the things I want to get into. Like it's a hard conversation just to be like, hey, it ain't like I'm not messing with you right now. I just don't got it to give to you right now. And that's a hard thing to break to, like, especially when it's like significant others. Like, so you ain't feeling me or something like that? You don't like me no more? It's like, no, that ain't it.
Yeah.
I gotta do Juju right now, like, or Julius. Juju will be available later. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And so I want to ask you, like, how do you even approach having tough conversations with somebody? Like, when you know something got to be said, because I've had a lot of them over this last week.
Yeah, I think for me that varies by the person.
Okay.
Because, certain people you can just
kind of just say whatever.
Yeah, and they got a pretty good understanding. And then there's certain people, you got to like be a little bit more intentional with, because like
that's the word.
Like some people, they like understand your tone and stuff, so it's not as easily
misconstrued.
Yeah, as others where it can be. So like sometimes if I'm having a conversation with like people where it can be misconstrued, it's like I almost like to lay a foundation first.
Yeah.
Before I get to what I need to talk about. So
yeah,
because I've had it in the past where it was like sometimes I was trying to have a conversation about one thing, but like they got stuck on a completely different other thing,
and it turned the whole.
Yeah, I was like, well, that's not what I even wanted to talk about, you know.
Yeah,
so I'm like, okay, but yeah, that's kind of how I normally do. Or if it's like I say, it's certain people like where I feel like they kind of understand me more, where it's not even as hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like where it was like, oh, there's something on my mind I need to talk to them about, but we can just bring it up in like conversation, and it's like,
yeah.
Oh no, that's been on my mind, but it came out in a very casual way to you. But nah, this is some stuff I needed to know to get in order, or I needed to tell you. But
yeah,
you know, like I say, I feel like sometimes if you got that rapport with people, but I mean, I always try to go into it, like I say, because even if it's a tough conversation, it's normally not coming from like a malicious place for me. So. That's why I say I always try to handle it delicately so I can like convey what I'm trying to convey in the most effective way possible without it being offensive.
I don't know why I'm yawning, but you know what? I kind of look at it like this. The extent of the conversation sometimes is predicated on how much you know the other party. You know what I mean? Like a tough conversation with you, Ed, I know can go easier than just with a stranger.
Yeah.
Because I got the context of you. Like, I know how to be like, okay, I need to let Ed know this, but I'm not about to trigger Ed in no kind of way. We just like, if I say, Ed, we in trouble, man. You know what I'm saying? That's different than like, Ed, we got a situation. This is what we need to do. Here's the action items, you know. I'm going to present it to you like that because I know that's what you need. When it's somebody that, like, I don't really know like that, I find myself oversharing. Like, I'll lay, like you said, I'll lay so much foundation. Like, look, I'm about to say this, but it's because of this, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm only saying this to get to this, like, end point. Not to like jump down your throat, pause. Not to like, you know, get on your case or whatever, but like this is the message I'm trying to convey with this, you know. And sometimes that can be tough for me, you know. I do have a hard time, not a hard time. I think about those type of conversations a lot.
Yeah.
Because I'm factoring in so many different ways it can go. Like this would it look like if it goes smooth. This would like if it go left. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And this is everything in between. Like how do I want to handle myself? And I do those I guess you can call them visualizations. Like I visualize, okay, if we go like this, this is how I'm gonna handle myself. Like, but if it get wild, this what
it's
I'm
like you all like you kind of play the conversation out in your head.
Yeah, I do.
I do that sometimes. I used to do that a lot. Where it's like, because sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I would be kind of like trying to steer it this way. It's like, okay, so if I say this
what's gonna happen.
They should say this, then I can say this, then ooh, that'll lead to that. But I don't do that anymore. But yeah, sometimes though, I do think like, you know, sometimes you try to play out a conversation in your head to see if it's gonna like come out the right way. I'm about to say, especially that can be really tough too if like somebody is like more so like easily offended.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
To where it's like I feel like those are the times where I really try to like lay a foundation to almost like I can't think of the word, but I try to like do my best to get ahead of it to say, hey, this is not to offend you.
Yeah.
You know,
the purpose of this is just to
I do that with people like that because
and you really ain't no. I mean, you consider it, man, but you used to just let your words go.
Yeah, so that's what I say. But like when people like that, I just know it's like, no, you need to be extremely intentional because it can like go awry really quick, or like I gotta say I've been in a situation too sometimes where I want to have a tough conversation and it's about this, but like I say, a person that may take stuff the wrong way, they might deflect,
Yeah.
and put it back on you about something else. Now you're not even talking about what you wanted to talk about.
Now you just defending yourself.
Yeah. So I try my best to like in a tough conversation to try to like get a person, I don't know, kind of make them feel at ease to where it's like I'm not attacking you and this isn't brought up to like make you be seen in a negative light or anything, but
this what it is.
Yeah. But
how do you deal when somebody disagrees with you, Ed? Like how do you face disagreements? Like, you know, like a real disagreement. Not like, oh, I like chips, and you like, oh, I don't like chips. I'm talking about like a real disagreement.
Where it's like, is it up for interpretation or is it a clear right or wrong? Because that matters too. Like if it's up for interpretation,
okay, yeah, let's go with that.
I will.
I feel like you hear people out, but you still think that you right in your head.
No, I don't think I'm above
reproach
and being wrong. Mm-hmm. But I do think sometimes though it's like it. I think I'm a pretty grounded person, unless it's literally just one of those perspective things where it's like, oh, I told you I didn't want to date you anymore because I'm not into it, and you saying, oh, he wasted my time. I can't believe him.
Okay.
Like one of them things is just perspective, so it is what it is.
You gonna let that just be what it be?
Yeah, but if it's one of them things where there is pretty much a right and a wrong, but you kind of hit it on the head. Sometimes I feel like I am right, but if you don't see it that way, then.
Well, no, I'm saying because you deal in absolutes, Ed.
I deal in absolute. Some stuff is nuanced, though. Like I say, some stuff is really like
just how you looking at it.
Interpretation, because I might tell you something and it's honest, but you don't like the answer. So now you perceive me a certain way where it was like, well, that was the truth and the honesty. So
because you can't really control how somebody is just perceiving you.
You can't, or how they feel.
But like that might be their right. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do think that.
Yeah.
What was the question you asked me again? I kind of got lost.
How do you deal when somebody disagrees with you? Like, how do you approach a disagreement? And
I broke it down into two categories, and I was like, which I say if it's a right and wrong, or what else,
or a perspective thing.
Well, yeah, because I am very interested in people's perspectives, especially like. To be honest with you, I'm more accepting of a person's perspective
that you disagree with. That
I disagree with if we aren't romantically involved, and that's just like somebody I'm just around, or
that's
maybe a friend. Yeah, because at that point it's like we don't have to see stuff the same way, and it really don't matter because you probably not in my like
day to day.
Yeah, to where like. That would really affect me. The fact that you see something differently. But romantically, if that's the case, when you just see something different, that's where that can become an issue sometimes. And I'm a little bit more weary and more weary of that. Like I said, I got friends that I just wholeheartedly disagree with.
Friends?
I just don't believe what they believe. Or like their perspective, like, no, I don't agree with that. But I don't have to, and it's fine, and I don't really care. But I feel like with a partner, it's more so I kind of want to be on the same page.
Okay.
So for that's when it's like, oh, that's your perspective? Like
you want to agree on some things with the person you're going to be with, for sure.
Yeah, because you want to be on the same page with them more. Yeah. And it's like, we operate as a team, so like, y'all kind of sort of need to be on the same page. Like you say, like
you could.
This is with major stuff, of course, because
I had a crazy question.
Like if you don't like cheese and I like cheese on my burger,
okay.
Whatever. But more serious stuff, I do want you to kind of have the same perspective, like your thoughts on money management or
vasectomies.
Yeah, or kids, like your perspective on kids, so certain stuff like that. Like I said, if you a friend, your perspective, if it don't really affect my life, because you may not agree with what I'm doing, but
I ain't got to deal with you like that.
It don't affect what I'm doing at the end of the day. But if it's a partner and we got different perspectives, like, nah, we got to come to some type of.
I was about to say
something.
I was about to say you can disagree and still be on the same page. I think that's possible, right?
You can disagree and
still be on the same page. Like, being on the same page don't have to be an agreement, right? Or that's just an agreement to disagree. I know that's semantics, but like if I know you don't like cheese, and I like cheese on my burgers, right? Mm-hmm. If I go to Wendy's for us, and you say, "Yeah, give me something," mm-hmm. I know to get you a burger without cheese because you already expressed that to me. I think burgers should have cheese. You know what I'm saying? But we're on the same page because you know I'm going to act right by you given the things that I know about you, right? Mm-hmm. Or does that not make no sense?
I mean, yeah, kind of. I mean, but that's why I say, like, small stuff, like, I don't know. But, I don't know, because that's, like, small stuff. I'm talking about, like.
You talking about life.
I say I believe in God and you say you don't. That's what I'm talking about. Where I think we need to be on the same page.
We might not can't rock like that.
That's what I'm saying. Like certain perspectives. But if I got a friend and we got different beliefs,
we got plenty of friends like that.
Then it's like, oh, okay. Like, I mean,
well, I know I'm not gonna talk to you about.
So
that
that's
type
what
of
I'm
stuff.
saying. Like for me with a partner, that's the perspective. Even need to be kind of similar. It don't got to be all the way similar, but like. Especially like on like main, like in stuff that I deem important. Those need to be similar.
Yeah.
So that's why I say like a disagreement with that type of stuff, it don't really work for me romantically, but like in other aspects of my life, that's fine because what you believe don't really affect me. So whatever.
I had a disagreement the other day, right? About a week ago. Mm-hmm. With a couple of friends, people I know. And you know what frustrated me so much about the disagreement, Ed, is that I was seeing their point of view, but they wasn't seeing mine. Mm. And that like really frustrated me. Like, you know, like everybody know me. I ain't no pacifist. Mm-hmm. Like, I get out there with you. But like I'm not just looking for conflict and contention.
Yeah.
But for some reason that really got my blood boiling, bro. Mm-hmm. Like it just got me so like frustrated. Like how can y'all not see where I'm coming from, but I'm seeing where y'all coming from?
Yeah.
It don't feel fair. Like
that is frustrating.
Like it don't feel fair. It's like it feel like I'm just giving you all my energy. There's no reciprocation.
Yeah.
So I was in a disagreement like that. And
but so that's when it comes to like perspectives. When I say, well, it's frustrating if you like.
But it's frustrating because like I hear you. Why you don't hear me? Like, you know, like. What can I do to make that even more clear to you? My bad, what you were saying.
But no, that's what I'm talking about, where it's like perspectives and stuff, and we can't even be on the same, like, even if it's just on the same page of understanding. Like,
yes.
Okay, well, I see what you mean, but, and if somebody say, well, I see what you mean, but if it's not that, at least, that's what I said, where it's like, or like I was saying, because sometimes perspectives, somebody can just be completely wrong. Like completely wrong, but they believe what they saying. But I was like, well, that's not right.
That don't make it right. That don't make it the truth because you feel strongly about it.
Yeah,
I love that tweet. Like I love that saying. Like just because you feel strongly about it, don't make it the truth. Mm-hmm. You know, I could say blue ugly all day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But blue gonna be blue. You know. But I was in an interaction like that, and like. And you know this, like not too many things just stump me like that. Mm. Even when like when I approach a impasse or just obstructions, physically, mentally, emotionally, the other Elise, you know what I mean? Like I can usually find some kind of way to divert it and kind of go around it. Mm-hmm. But this was just a situation where I was just like, dang, like, you are being so stubborn right now. Almost just for the sake of being in opposition to me.
Mm-hmm. That's the worst.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even think you're doing this out of like, I don't think this contention from your end
is out of just personal belief.
Yeah.
You're just literally just going against it.
You just
I'm
yes. If I
on
say
the other side of it.
Yeah, if I say it was up, you gonna say it's down. If I say it's left, you gonna say it's right.
Yep.
Not based in logic.
Yep.
Not like, hey, Jew, I see why you saying left. Because I could say, oh, I see why you saying right.
Yeah.
But when I don't get that in return, it's like, oh, we're not even in the same space right now. Like, like we're not even on the same, I guess what they say, frequency. You know, we're not.
I'm about to say, because that is true.
That's
Like sometimes you can just be on different frequencies than people, and it's like, or different pages, and it's just like, nah, bro.
But I'm learning to like, I'm learning to like just being like, okay, just leave it alone.
I'm gonna say at some point that's all you can do, because if somebody just that
that made me mad.
Different, like that perspective is that different, then it's like,
and you can see it.
You ain't gonna like convince them otherwise.
I guess that's right. I guess I'm gonna be trying to convince people.
But even
I guess I need the affirmation, like,
or even to just like make them see your perspective, like,
yeah, like this. This is how I can see you came about. This is how I can see that you approached.
Some people just not that understanding.
Some people just don't have the thinking power to look at stuff like that.
Yeah,
like you know what? I find myself having these type of run-ins or getting stumped with people like this, like, because I'm gonna just say it. Some people only perceive things in the way that it's happening to them.
Mm-hmm.
Some people call it narcissistic. Some people call it conceited, self-absorbed. But I think like just on some basic like how you perceive the world, they just think of it like that. Like, and that's if that's my opposite.
Well,
like,
reality is perception. So some people, if they only see one thing, they just think, oh, that's just the world.
And they accept it as fact. And that's just what it's going to have to be. And, like, I mean, eventually, that happened, like, over the weekend. And thankfully, I had a long drive home. And, when you drive by yourself and you able to just sit with yourself and kind of just look at the trees and stuff, you start thinking and, I filter it out, my moments of like anger, or like very short lived.
That's a good thing.
Like I be angry. I have times where I'm angry, but it don't last long, and I don't let it. Okay, I try my hardest to not allow it to spill over into other things.
Yeah,
like if I'm angry at my roommate, I'm not gonna answer the door mad at you. You don't deserve it.
You don't project.
Yeah, I don't project. Like, because people don't deserve it.
That's a lesson I learned. Ironically, one week, summer, I was working at a gas station because somebody had pissed me off, and then like, so I just be in a nasty mood. But then somebody else would come and be so super pleasant. I'm like, oh man, I didn't need to be that way towards them. They was really nice, and that's when I learned how to like just not project and like kind of compartmentalize. Where you pissed me off, but they didn't do anything to me. Hey, how are you? And it's like that emotion's still there, but that shouldn't linger into somebody else because they didn't do anything to me. Yeah. But I don't think most people possess that. Like if somebody got pissed off from something else, now they just in that mood the rest of the day. Where me is like, like they pissed me off, but
I can't.
That's just that interaction. I don't like just transfer to other aspects of my life. Yeah,
I be talking about that too a lot. Like I can't let that be the reason why like I'm mean to you. Yeah, like I've never mean. I be angry. I don't be mean. You know what I'm saying? Just like out the rip like that. But yeah, I was going through those emotions, and that don't happen a lot with me. You know, because I like to think I'm in pretty. You know, I'm in. I ain't gonna say I'm 100% in control of myself, but I'm about 87, 88. I got a ways to go. You know, I do listen to some core things like, hey, I'm not gonna let that get me out of my body. Yeah. That's not gonna get me out of my body.
But that's my thing too with people. Like, it depends on how. Like, if something like if you disagree with a fact,
that's crazy.
Then I don't down that hill. Like, I can be wrong. Like, if you say, hey, who did Michael Jordan play in the finals? The Jazz, I think. And you say, oh no, it was the Supersonics. I'm like, oh, okay.
Like, I'm not about to fight you over that.
Oh no, I might be wrong. Like, that's what I say. That stuff, if it's based in fact, I'm very like
what they call it
open, and it's like I'm not about to argue unless I think it's right. But then too, if I still think it's right, I'm like, I don't know, I think it was this, but I could be wrong, and just leave it open ended to where it's like, oh, if you strongly believe it, you got it. I don't care that much.
I'm not about to fight you over this.
If it's in fact, yeah, I don't get too much worked up about facts because it's like. I literally can be wrong, and you can look it up and see, and I don't care that much.
But what about when it's philosophy? like you said, perception.
Well, I might say that go back to like perspectives and stuff with philosophies and stuff. I think I feel more strongly about that type of stuff.
How do you convey a disagreement? Like, hey, I don't mess with that. Or do you be like, hey, I hear what you're saying, but this part I can't do it, and you kind of give them
yeah, I talk, because I notice I do that a lot, where it's like, sometimes I'll be talking to some people, and it's like they perspective of like a whole is based on like an isolated incident.
Because I just seen you be like, oh heck no, to somebody when they said something.
Like their perspective of a whole is based off an isolated incident, and I'm like, okay, that do happen, but you can't just make a blanket statement and run with that.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I feel like more strongly about that type of stuff. If it's a fact, like, it's not that serious. Either I'm right or wrong, and I'm okay with either.
Yeah.
But like perspectives and stuff, and honestly too, like for me, especially like in a romantic setting, if you got a completely different perspective that I just don't agree with, that makes me uncomfortable, and I don't really want to date you because you might see something a way that it really wasn't, and if you believe that, then that can be dangerous to me and my well-being, you know?
Okay. I was just about to say, like, it seems like your amount of importance that you even put on that is contingent on your involvement with the person.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, if it's like, okay.
But like I said, the only reason when it matter about perspective and stuff, and I feel like I need to agree. For the most part, is romantically, but like I say, if it's other things, you like
let it go,
friend, family, you just think it's that way. Oh, okay, whatever. Because it's like you're not that close to me and you don't affect me, but it's somebody that I'm dealing with and I'm gonna be involved with. Then I need us to be more so on the same page because you are that close to me. So like that kind of stuff matters and has a greater impact.
But I understand that. But I think I act the same way with y'all, like my friend group, my close friend group. Like it's some stuff. It's some stuff. My bad. I just got a fancy notification. But anyway, it's some stuff that like me and you don't agree with. But like, I need you to feel where I'm coming from. Like I need you to know where I stand on stuff.
Yeah. And
I think it's only a cautionary thing that I feel like it's a cautionary feeling because it's like I want you to know when this situation comes up, this how I'm gonna go, and I want you to be okay. I want you to be ready to accept that, not ready to agree, not fall in line behind me, but I need you to be ready to agree with that. Like if I say, you know what I'm saying, I believe in abortion or whatever. I call you on a rainy Wednesday. Man, such say she pregnant. you already know how I feel about, you know what I'm saying, like that type of stuff. So you probably be like, well, is that the route you want to go? Heck yeah. I don't need to look down on me, you know. And I don't believe this, y'all. Don't put that jacket on me. I'll just give an example or something like that. You know, real world stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just like my friends to be ready for when stuff happens to me. I want y'all to know, have confidence in what kind of man I'm gonna be in those situations. I guess hopefully that makes sense. That might have been everywhere, but you know, and when I do convey my disagreement with somebody, like, hey, I don't mess with that. I don't invalidate their experience. I'm like, oh, if that's what you went through, bro, that's what you went through. But I don't see it like that because of X, Y, Z. You know?
But like I say, sometimes people's perspectives just be wrong. Like, nah,
people be wrong, bro.
I might say we was having a conversation about a man, you know, about something, you know, trying and stuff, and you know, and I was like, nah, that's just wrong. Like,
that's just wrong, bro.
You can believe that if you want. I think, and that's the thing for me, where it's like I wholeheartedly don't agree with certain things, but if you believe that, I'm not in the business of convincing people of anything. So you got it. I'm going to voice my opinion, and then from there,
that's up to you.
Hey, it's up to you, because you can't say, well, man, why you didn't tell me that this was.
No, I told you.
It's like, no, I did. I said, nah, bro, that ain't right.
You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that.
But beyond that, I'm not in the business of convincing somebody. You're a grown man at the end of the day.
You got to live with that. You got to live with that, brother. You know? I don't know. It just, I saw a lot of arguments over the weekend. You know, like funerals bring that stuff out of people.
Yeah.
So a lot of like good conversations, so a lot of, you know, heated conversations. And I was just thinking, like, conflict resolution in the black community is not the best.
It's not. It's not at all. Because like I said, even me, like, if it's something like I state my opinion, and you offer pushback, all right, you got it.
But you still want the person to know where you're coming from. You want the person to feel you, huh?
Depends. Sometimes I don't care.
Is that a product of, like, what is that a product of? Because I be wanting people to feel me.
Because I feel like it's sometimes people
like, you
just
gotta
not
know
going to
from,
understand, and you just end up going in circles. I've just seen too many people just go in circles too many times.
But like, I want to say it, so, and this might be dumb, but like, I want to say it because I want you, when you calm down from the situation and you don't want to, you know, you go back home and you think about what was said, I want you to be like, dang, Jew was making sense.
I don't know, because I feel like I'm a very sensible, reasonable person, and I always give out sensible, grounded advice, and like, I never hear anything back, or it'll be like, I'll say it, but then somebody else will say the same thing, and it's like
you definitely
the most profound thing in the world.
You definitely that person. You are definitely.
So that's why I don't get too worked up about that crap, because it's like, especially I feel like with men, because I feel like every man think he doing what is best for him to do anyway. And I know we had a podcast and we kind of talked about that before, where typically a man doing what he feel is best. I think everybody, I guess, operates like that, where they feel like they doing what is best. So it's like, if I don't agree with it and I tell you, but you feel like what you doing is best, then what happens from there? Because everybody is in control of their own destiny for the most part. So it's not really much to argue. It's like, if say, oh, nah, you need to feel me, then it's just like, I don't know. I don't like talking in circles, man. And I feel like if I feel like my opinion not valued, then it just is what it is. I'm not about to try to make you feel. I'm not about to try to make somebody value what I'm saying. If you don't get it, you don't agree with it, you don't see it the way I'm like conveying it, it just is what it is. Like,
yeah, you're right.
I'm not about to do that, because at the end of the day,
that's something I'm still working
what
on.
really happens from that? I never heard nobody be like, you know what? They actually are making sense. Because one, it ain't like I'm conveying what my message in a unpalatable way. I could see if I was yelling and like, you can't see through the yelling, or you just saying stuff in a harsh way. But if I don't say anything in a harsh way and I present it in like a very calm tone and you don't get it, you just don't get it. Because like I'm gonna say, maybe this is just like my response to my life. Because I've just been giving out reasonable, very sound, practical advice.
Well, most people come to you for that, though, Ed. Most people come to you for that.
Or I'll say something and then they be like, oh, I didn't do that. And I'm like, oh, well, I told you. And it's like, yeah, you did. And it's just like, am I going, if I huff and puffed or try to make somebody, quote unquote, feel me every time an incident happened like that, I drive myself crazy. So that's why I say what I say. You either take heed to it or you don't. Whatever, it's fine and move on. Because nah. And I be saying like, and I don't give like advice like, Don, don't take that job. Take this one because this will suit you better. I be saying stuff like, nah, you got insurance, bro. You should probably just go to the doctor and get that checked out. Or like, hey,
you know that's covered in your warranty.
Or hey, check your oil before you go on this long trip.
Yeah.
Or your tire light on. You probably want to go ahead and put some air in it. Because if that's on and you come out and it's flat, you're gonna be upset. So just go ahead and put some air in it right now. Yeah. Because the tire light on.
You don't wanna, like go do that today.
You don't want to come out to a flat tire. Yeah. Because then your life gonna get harder. So just go put some air in it now. Yeah. I give advice like that to where it's like you can't really argue it.
Yeah.
But if you don't take that,
that's on you.
And something go wrong, I could be pissed. Why didn't you listen to me? Yeah. I told you. Or I can be like, I will. I'm going to say, oh, yeah, I told you. You remember I said, and it's like, yeah, you did, but I just didn't. And I'm like, well. So,
yeah.
And that's been like the story of my life. So it's like, I'm not about to get riled up or upset. Because if I did, I would just be an angry man.
There's definitely times where I just blatantly ignore you. Like,
it'd be that type of advice, like where it's like you can't argue that.
It's like Ed said I should do this, but I'm about to do
this. Or it'd be like, man, I need to get the oil changed. Yeah, man, go on, take care of that.
It's a Wednesday. What you doing today? Nothing. You should probably go do that.
I'm like, hey man, you might want to go ahead and get in there before the weekend because the weekends be
packed. Yeah.
Then you'd be like, oh, Saturday come. Man, bro, I've been up here for 3 hours trying to wait to get my oil changed.
Like, man, I told you to do that Wednesday.
Oh, okay. It be stuff like that. That's why I say like, I feel like my advice is so like sound and it ain't biased. It's just like what I feel is.
It ain't extravagant either. It's really just go do this.
I feel like it's very like rooted in like just
logic.
So
rationale.
So I give advice like that. So
you ain't saying like, man, you should go holler at that chick. You're like, nah, bro.
Or man, you gotta go to the army, bro. I think you would be a good like.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It'd be like
you should go to the army.
It'd be like very practical stuff.
Yeah.
So like I say, it used to frustrate me just to be transparent, but then it's just like at this point, it's just like, well, only thing I can do is get the information and. Either gone.
Do you ever need to be right?
No, I don't care that much. Okay. Like I said, if you wrong though, like you're not gonna convince me to be wrong with you.
And I'm not about to follow you in your wrong way.
No, I'm gonna just say, well, I just do not agree with that, and I believe that's wrong. From there, if you don't, you got it.
We shouldn't have wore those black tees.
Yeah, but yeah, bro, I just don't. I don't know, man. I feel like that just come with like maturity, where it's just like
it don't mean that much. Yeah,
you try to like prove to somebody that they're wrong, and then sometimes like I've had it told them straight to my face. Well, it's coming from you, so like, well. Or like I said, I've just been in a situation, and I do think sometimes it bothers me, but I keep it internal where it's like I told somebody something, then they heard it from somebody else, and it's the most profound thing, and I'd be like, I told you that, and like, well, yeah,
it's just you, yeah.
again, it's just you.
It's just you.
And it's like, I don't know how to not take that the wrong way, but it is what it is.
I think that's such a. I think as you grow, you start to realize like the need to prove yourself. I mean, the need to be right. You kind of go out the window.
It's a young man's game.
That's a young man's game. Cause you trying to prove people you got knowledge and wherewithal and things like that. But when you get older, you're like, hey man, this my life. That's theirs. Like, if that's how they want to lead it, we'll let it go over there.
That's what it comes to, man. You just, man, be in there arguing circles for what?
You feel like you got enough patience for that these days, or where's your patience at right now?
All over the place, depending on the topic.
Give me a number. Give me a number for your patience.
Just overall,
like if patience was your like if patience was one of your little sliders on 2K, what would be the number from 0 to 100? What your patience is?
I'm like at 80, I think.
Oh,
I'm a patient towards a lot of things, but
that's high for you.
Certain things I'm not. That's why I say I'm like at 80
overall.
Yeah,
I'm probably like a 90, 91. I got a lot of patience when I shouldn't. A lot of times I really just should flip the switch, but
it depends, like on certain stuff, like with career stuff. I don't know, just in general. Like if somebody say, "Hey, it's gonna be a 30-minute wait to eat here,"
so macro.
But like certain stuff, I don't know. It just depends. I feel like that's a episode in itself, man. I can really get into patience and tell you where my shortcomings come as a man when it comes to patience and all.
Yeah. I was gonna give you a whole one. Pause.
Thank you.
Damn. No, I was just saying because like coming off what you were saying, they're like talking in circles and things like that. Like when you young, you kind of had a patience for that. When you get older, you don't really got the patience for it. I'm not.
Or you got the energy and you really want to be right.
Yeah,
so
I ain't got to.
I feel like that's something you realize as you older, where it's like it's not really about that.
But I was just saying though, like I was just saying that like coming off like the week I had, after the week you had, like those are the types of things that like kind of like come to the forefront of my mind. Like how am I handling this? Or how do I want to handle this? I just saw somebody's life's end. You know what I mean? Like these are things I want to like carry on into my life and like not perfect, because I don't think we ever get perfection. I think perfection is like an unattainable thing. But I was just saying that like I want it to be a goal for myself, something that I'm like steadily improving.
Yeah, you can improve on it steadily.
But no, that's all I got, man.
Yeah, man. It was a pretty good episode, man.
Episode 82. It's 82.
Transferable Experience Podcast, as always. Remember to do all the things on all the things.